Coach was saying different offensive look this year. So how are you guys adapting to that, and what are going to be some of the keys to hitting the ground running with that many changes?
Well, last year we graduated quite a few seniors, and so that means that we had to have a lot of young guys step up and fill those positions. And with us this summer hitting the weight room pretty hard, we've definitely seen a lot of improvements in the young guys, and then the older guys also leading the team and teaching the younger guys where to go and kind of the roles of the team.
Over the last 4 to 5 years, we've seen Eastside start to climb the ladder and continue improvement. How do you guys build off that to take the next step?
It's just, you got to teach the younger guys that are coming in. You got to get them improved so that way when the seniors go away that year, the younger guys can step up and keep on rolling with that momentum.
Second year for Coach Mason. Do you feel like you guys are maybe a little bit ahead of the game as to where you were last year, getting used to him as the head coach, getting used to what he does, how he runs things and schemes?
Definitely. He's definitely a coach that he's, I'd say he can get a little rough a little times, a little feisty, but that's also because he's getting into our heads that we've got to do everything perfect, and if we don't do it perfect, then we got to do it again and keep on going until we do get it done. So that's one thing that he's definitely showed us to improve on and stuff like that. So,
final question for me is, if there's one thing that's your season is gonna hinge on, if there's one really important thing that you guys need to do well, what is it?
Probably get our younger guys. That's our biggest thing, and to be all in. We have to have the team be together and be all in. That's one of our philosophies. Be all in for 5. If we have everybody do their 1/11th, that's huge in football. If everybody do one job, so that way we don't have one person doing 2 and screw everything up. So everybody's got to be all in.
As this Eastside team goes, as I was mentioning, you guys have continued to kind of climb the ladder and build over the last 4 or 5 seasons. How do you take the next step, and how does that success kind of roll over for you guys this season?
Well, the first things we have to get after it in the weight room. And then when we get onto that field, we have to forget everything, and we just have to focus on football and then keep practicing on it and perfecting our craft. If we keep doing that and we come together as a team, as a whole, and everybody is all in, then we'll climb that step.
Coach Mason, back for his second season. Obviously last year, a little bit of a learning curve. So do you feel like you guys are ahead of where you were last year in the fact that you kind of know what to expect from him, both in terms of personality and then schematically offense, defense?
Yeah, I'd say we're ahead from last year. We've had a lot of good practices. Last year, they were okay practices, but this year, we've been getting after it, getting all our plays in, everything. Intensity in practice, conditioning before practice, and all that stuff.
Where did you say you play on offense?
Wide receiver.
Okay, so obviously a lot of changes, it sounds like. You got a new quarterback and kind of a new offensive system. How do you go about making those changes seem like they're seamless when it comes to Friday nights?
Well, we just have to do what we regularly do. It doesn't matter if it's a new scheme, new QB. We expect to do everything right anyway. So it shouldn't be that big of a change. As long as we do everything right and do it as a team, then we should be good.
Biggest point of emphasis for Eastside leading into the season, what is it?
Being all in.
Perfect, my man. Coach, when you take a look at these Eastside Blazers, your first season last season, what do you do to build off that? Obviously, you had been there before, so there was familiarity. But now that it's the second season and they've seen you in the head coaching position, what do you build off of based off last year?
Well, you always try to improve every year. That's our number one thing. Try to get bigger, faster, stronger, be all in, all the things that we talk about as a program. We're trying to do it a little bit better. Accountability and all those sorts of things. And our summer's been fantastic. We're building. We're going to be a young group. Honestly, we're going to be young. We can fly around a little bit. It's going to be a fun season.
When you take a look at this team, obviously looking for a quarterback, Caleb graduated. Where are some of the other positions that you're going to have to fill holes with, and who are some of the guys that are going to step up into those roles?
Caleb did a great job last year as quarterback. He did. Coming in from a wide receiver position, moving into a quarterback role, he had a great season. We're excited about what Joe White's doing. Unfortunately, we're going to lose him on the defensive side of the ball where he was an all-conference linebacker. But I think with what Joe can do at the quarterback position is going to be huge. You know, we lose Aaron Dean, who was an all-conference receiver, stud receiver for us. But we got Trey Staley stepping in that's going to do some things, and Maguire Jacobs, Matt, Lieb, they're all going to pick up the slack in the receiving department, and we're looking for good things, offensively and defensively this year. So,
second year, based on personnel, do you tweak or change anything that you do schematically on offense and defense to fit the guys, or do you have them kind of fall in line with what you've established already?
It's funny you say that. We have completely revamped our offense this year to fit what we have. We're not going to be big. We are not a big offensive line. We are going to do a lot of running with our linemen. So, to answer your question, we're fitting to our kids. We're not putting square pegs in round holes.
When things roll around, obviously, next Monday when you practice, obviously you guys will be focusing on offense if you're making that many changes. But what's the one other point of emphasis that is going to be a key for Eastside to have the type of successful season where you're competing for an NECC championship?
Well, our goal this year, we're up to 52 kids this year, and that's fantastic for us. That's a good number. Our goal for us to have the success that we want, we are hoping by week 6 that we are 2 platooning. I want a separate offense and a separate defense. And hopefully, if things go as well, we even have a separate special teams.
Wow.
So that is our goal. Now, we got some young kids that are going to have to step up in order for that to happen. And, if I know our kids as well as I think I do, I think we'll be able to do that by week 6.